Her late Majesty is lying in state at St Giles Cathedral and was watched over by her children the Princess Royal, King Charles III, the Earl of Wessex and the Duke of York, who was dressed in civilian clothing with his medals pinned to his lapel. Thousands of mourners watched in near silence as the Queen's children, led by King Charles III, walked behind their mother's hearse as it drove down from the Palace of Holyroodhouse to St Giles Cathedral. The siblings carried out the traditional vigil of the princes around the coffin of their late mother at the cathedral in Edinburgh earlier this evening. The symbolic move sees 4 people position themselves at each side of the coffin to stand guard for a short time. Today's event lasted 10 minutes. A service of remembrance was held in the cathedral where the Queen will lie at rest until Tuesday afternoon, allowing members of the public to pay their last respects before the oak coffin is transported to London by air. The queue for entry into the cathedral stretched more than a mile to the city's Meadows Park. The coffin will remain at the cathedral until 5 p.m. on Tuesday and will then be moved to the city's airport where it will be flown to RAF Northolt in West London at 6 p.m. Mourners have been seen lining the streets. Image, Sky, Getty. Mourners were seen queuing for more than a mile. Image, Getty. The coffin is expected to arrive in London at 7 p.m., and will then travel to Buckingham Palace, where it will be met by King Charles III and Camilla, Queen Consort. There was a respectful silence from the crowd, which was 10 deep in places, as the procession took place on Monday afternoon. Amid the silence was an echo of ceremonial gunshots which were fired from Edinburgh Castle every minute. All 4 of the Queen's children, King Charles, Princess Anne and Princes Andrew and Edward, walked behind the hearse, along with Princess Anne's husband, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence. A car behind them carried Camilla, the Queen Consort, and Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, Prince Edward's wife. William MacDonald, 63, from Edinburgh, told the BBC he was extremely moved by the experience of finally getting to pay his respects. Read more. BBC News commentator teased by viewers after Paddington Bear News mourners were able to pay their respects this evening. Image, Getty. King Charles was joined by his siblings. Image, Getty. He added, "It was beautiful. Everything was done so well. I will never forget it. It was mind-blowing. She has been the best Briton ever, along with Winston Churchill. I am a bit starstruck." Rodney Matthews, a retired Baptist minister and member of Old St Paul's, a Scottish Episcopal church in the heart of Edinburgh, said there was a sense of serenity about the event. He said, "You were able to move very slowly through, there was no rush at all. There's a moment where you can actually stand there and take it all in, the dignity of the whole place. It was very well done, very well organized once you go through security and get that feeling of space." Hundreds held up their phones to capture the moment on camera as cries of "She's here" were heard in the crowd. During the procession, a lone heckler shouted abuse at the Duke of York and was subsequently removed by police. Don't miss Boris Johnson shares touching details of final meeting with Queen. Pictures. Angela Levin joins growing calls for Camilla's title to drop. Consort, comment. BBC News commentator teased by viewers after Paddington Bear News. Insight, the Queen will make her final journey tomorrow back to London. Image, Getty. Mourners watched in near silence as the hearse made its way to the cathedral. Image, Getty. Mourners will be allowed to file past the late Queen's coffin on Monday evening until 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Armed Forces veteran George Higgins has waited some 12 hours to pay his respects to the Queen in Edinburgh today. The worker at the Royal Infirmary Hospital in the Scottish capital was the first to join the queue at 6:45 a.m. He told Sky News, "This is happening in my city. She's lying in St Giles and I wouldn't miss it for the world. I have to go and pay my respects to my old boss." After 10 minutes, the vigil came to an end and King Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Edward and Prince Andrew returned to their cars to applause from crowds outside the cathedral. Alison Evans from Derbyshire, in a wheelchair, and Sharon Baum wait in a queue to see the coffin. Image, Reuters. The Princess Royal's appearance makes her the first woman to be part of the vigil, which has until now been carried out by male-only members of the royal family. Well-wishers are expected to continue queuing to see the vigil until midnight. The Scottish government warned of very long waits with waiting times stretching past midnight on Monday evening. A spokesman told mourners to come prepared and dressed for the weather as temperatures will drop overnight. King Charles attended a vigil this evening in memory of his mother. Image, Getty. Members of the public have been seen queuing outside St Giles Cathedral into the early hours of the morning. 9 News Australia's Europe correspondent Kerry Greenbank wrote on Twitter, "1 a.m. in Edinburgh and people are still queuing to file past the Queen's coffin in St Giles Cathedral." Some had been warned to expect 8 to 10-hour delays. Sky News presenter Anna Botting shared similar footage of the scenes in the Scottish capital from just after midnight. She said, "Extraordinary scenes in Edinburgh overnight, as people snake their way through a park, to queue to see the coffin of the Queen in St Giles Cathedral." One couple from Perth cheerfully told us the queue was 8 to 10 hours long, revised down from 15. Mourners are waiting in the rain. Image, Getty. The Queen will lie in rest at St Paul's Cathedral. Image, Getty. Trending. It is estimated that 20,000 people are in a mile-long queue to pay their last respects. Mourners have been pictured crying as they view the coffin that will be flown back to London on Tuesday evening. Even more crowds are expected tomorrow when the coffin arrives back in London following the flight from Edinburgh. The primary concern for the police and security services over the coming days is public order rather than a terrorist threat. The Metropolitan Police is said to be leading on this, working closely with Police Scotland and the Security Service, MI5. Reports suggest they have rehearsed extensively for this week. Mourners began queuing in the afternoon. Brits were able to collect wristbands in the Meadows Park earlier on before getting in line and queuing through the main University of Edinburgh area of the city to reach the cathedral.